Mink Bay, the first thing that I noticed is all this sawdust everywhere.
Yeah, this was, as Eric mentioned, one of the first industries in Keewatin, and it was a sawmill. And you can see the remains of the buildings there. And there's a very nice picture on the opposite shore there, where there's a little bench. And there's a picture of what it looked like then and what it looks like now.
So it was a little bit of an industry. And Eric, you were saying people were living here at one point?
Yes, this was in my reading. This was the first industry in this area. I think it was called the Keewatin Lumber and Manufacturing Company, and the first residents of Keewatin built around here. Now, there's something in the back of my memory that talks about Slab Town.
Slab Town is basically that area.
Over there. Just across the bay.
Yeah, if you go over the tracks, there's all these houses and so on. And from what I understand, that was the Slab Town.
But it was connected with the industry here.
And it was made from the slabs of lumber, of course.
Yeah,
and we're talking 1880, 1879, somewhere around there.
It was sawmill because of the readily available water?
The readily available water, just the location.
It's very quiet here. It's not like on the Winnipeg River, where the river is a lot more of a stream current.
Well, we don't have the traffic from the highway here, and we really don't have the boat traffic, but the rail bed creates a bit of a sound buffer too.
And on one side, that's the Mink Bay Rapids?
Is that the Mink Bay Rapids?
I'm not sure if that's the official name.
It's a falls or a rapids?
But it certainly is the flow between Portage Bay and Mink Bay.
Okay, so Portage Bay is Lake of the Woods?
And just behind the Keewatin Arena.
Coming into Mink Bay, where does Mink Bay go to?
Mink Bay goes up here, then it bends to your right and flows into the Winnipeg River.
So this is one of the egresses out of Lake of the Woods then?
Yes. And this is kind of a bit of a pouch, you might say, that is a prime area for spawning and for staging of birds, and it's sometimes called these areas called the kidneys of the water system. So as the water flows through here, it's all filtered, cleaned up before it flows into the Winnipeg River. Because
it's very protected, and Pouch describes it well. I noticed there's a lot of algae on the bay. Is that because of the sawdust left over, or is it because for other reasons?
I would, unprofessionally, say that it's for other reasons.
Okay.
It may be part of the filtering of Lake of the Woods water through here. It may be, like, some of it's algae. I think some of it's also just water weeds as the water gets a little bit lower.
They're just dying off.
There's just vegetation here.
When we came up, Eric, we saw a little sandpiper, and then over there were a couple of Canada geese, about 4, and then you said 3 grebes. I could just see brown things.
Yes, it looks like grebes. Of course, this time of year, a lot of birds have lost their mating colors. A little harder to identify, but they had the longer neck, and they were diving rather than dabbling.
And what are they diving for?
If they're grebes, probably for small fish.
And so this, as you were saying, a lot of small fish in this area?
Minnows, small fish are different. And we've got 3 sandpipers out there now. Either they're solitary sandpipers or spotted sandpipers. Again, at this time of year, it's hard to identify, but this is perfect for them. Shallow water, kind of flats where they can walk around, and they've got long bills so that they can penetrate the mud and pick up whatever food is below the surface. as I was taking a second look at some of the waterfowl in the bay, they looked like grebes, but on getting a little closer, they were mergansers, and probably the young of a family that stayed here all summer. And so my grebes have been corrected to mergansers.
You stand corrected.
I stand corrected, which is always the case in birding.
The geese are making a bit of a squawk.
Yeah, they're. Wouldn't it be wonderful to know what they're saying to each other?
Wouldn't it?
Well, you know,
But I'd like to try, like, I think it's time to go. No, I'm not ready yet. No, let's go.
So I just noticed some rose hips, which are the little, what it remains after the rose flower dies off, beside the little Saskatoon bush. Rose hips are really high in vitamin C. Apparently you're supposed to wait till the first frost, then you can gather them, dry them, and I will just throw a handful in tea, especially if you've got a cold. They're wonderful.
In the springtime, the warblers flying around here are just quite amazing. I think what's probably so attractive is there's such variety here. There's the stream, you've got spruce trees, you've got oak trees, you've got birch trees, you've got poplars, you've got grass. The more variety you have, the more species you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. How many kinds of warblers?
I've seen 5 or 6 here, at different species at one time. I think my biggest thrill was when I took a group out birding here, and I was watching the warblers, and we were calling them using the app on our smartphones, and we would call and they would zip over our heads looking for this strange bird. And somebody said to me, "Eric, there's a white bird behind you," and I just said, "It's probably pigeon." And finally, after the 3rd time, I turned around, and right in this tree was an albino robin.
Oh,
I had never seen anything so amazing. It was just the perfect robin, just a little bit of red on its breast and the yellow beak, but the rest of it was pure white.
unbelievable. And warblers are pretty hard to distinguish one from another, correct?
They are, but they're probably the most colorful, and because they all have such a distinctive song, they're very easy to call using a smartphone call, like a recording.
So it's the song that really helps you identify them.
The song helps. It's my biggest help in assist in identifying them. I haven't noticed this before, although it's probably a couple months old, but
That's killed the tree. That'll kill the tree?
That'll kill the tree.
It's a huge tree.
Yep. All the energy that flows up and down a tree is on that outside surface.
So it can't get any more food.
No, it'll starve itself.
Wow.
And what a magnificent birch tree that is.
You don't see them that big
No.
that often. So someone's done that because they're making something probably and not paying attention.
And wanted big pieces, but yeah.
We're standing on the bridge where the water flows into Mink Bay. I guess we're at the Mink Bay Rapids, at the head of Mink Bay, and it's time for us to say goodbye. I want to thank both Eric and Phil for joining Sitting with Sallie. It has been a wonderful walk in the woods, and I very much enjoyed your company.
Sallie, I look forward to doing this again in the spring. As you noted, we had, when on an earlier walk, there was an eastern phoebe that always nests in this area. And the kingfisher is, this is one of the favorite haunts, and there's lots more to see on Mink Bay as well.
And we got to hear the kingfisher today.
We did.
And you saw him fly off.
And he came around the corner and he flew up this river here. So He's probably watching us right now.
And I really appreciate the fact that we can do this kind of thing so close to home. Growing up in southern Ontario, we had to go a long distance to have this kind of experience. And right now I can do it right outside the door. It's very nice.
It's one of the things that makes living in Kenora quite special. I really believe that.
Yes, and all the nice people.
And all the nice people who come on walks. Thank you for joining Sitting with Sallie. It's been a true enjoyment walking with Phil and Eric through the Mink Bay Trail. Hopefully we can do it again in spring, and hopefully if you've been watching my show, you'll get a chance to do it before spring.